What is up, everybody? It is Tuesday night's bite-sized agenda. I'm your host Craig, and I'm going to do my best to give you a condensed format of all the Liverpool news and gossip of the last 24 hours. Today, Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, the men's and ladies team headed off on the club's pre-season tour of the United States. First up for Jurgen Klopp's men will be a game against his former employers, Borussia Dortmund, and that takes place on Friday. Well, I say Friday night. It's Friday night into Saturday morning, so it's 1 AM on Saturday technically, but if you're a night owl like me, it's still pretty much Friday night. But we will be covering that game here on the channel, so I hope you can join us for that watch along. I'm really looking forward to it. This is where pre-season really starts to ramp up for Jurgen Klopp, and the standard of opposition, with all due respect to Tranmere and Bradford, steps up as well. So Liverpool obviously taking on Borussia Dortmund, then it's Sevilla, and then I think it's Sporting Lisbon. So lots of decent quality opposition, so the youngsters will get a real chance to shine here yet again, and I'm very much looking forward to see if they continue the progression, because for me so far this pre-season, Curtis Jones, Larouci, Ryan Kent, obviously Ryan Brewster, they've all looked impeccable so far, and hopefully that progression continues. I'm going to move on to Dejan Lovren, and the reason I'm pausing here is because I'm trying to think in my head how I'm going to pitch this. So, it's been reported that Dejan Lovren's representatives have met with AC Milan officials to discuss a move for the player. Now, this is something we've been speaking about on the channel for quite a while. You're getting mixed signals here yet again. So, the club are saying that their stance is that Dejan Lovren isn't for sale. But yet, why would his... And I think, I really do believe that his representatives are in discussions with AC Milan, so... why would that be the case if Liverpool are going to be standing firm and saying that he's not for sale? So, for me, there's something to this one. Now, as I said, publicly Liverpool saying he's not for sale, but AC Milan negotiating with the player's representatives. The Italian media are also reporting here that Degsy would have to take a pay cut if he was to go and join AC Milan. So, maybe his want or his will for more first-team football will see that move happen. For me, it's a difficult one, because... if he moves on, and I think it's fair to say he's probably fourth choice centre-back at this moment. Now look, that is open to debate, and it's just my opinion. So if he moves on, do we say to ourselves, do you know what, well done Degsy, get as much as we can and wish him his best, and then look to maybe Sepp Vandenberg, or do you go out there and try and sign a replacement? I'd love to know your thoughts on that, ladies and gents, so please do let me know in the comments section below. I know Dejan Lovren has had mixed reviews during his time at Liverpool. I think the guy's always given 100%, so I'm genuinely interested to see how this one works out. Interesting news actually coming from ESPN as well today, and ESPN's Paul Mariner reckons that Jurgen Klopp had a falling out with Xherdan Shaqiri during last season, and that is part of the explanation as to why Shaqiri's game time was limited. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to this or not. I didn't go in and read through the article fully, but I want to know if you guys have heard anything about this one. I know a lot of Reds were excited at the prospect of Shaqiri when it came in. None of us complained about the price. How could you? Roughly 13.5 million, I think, because of the clause in his Stoke contract, the relegation clause. But he did get a very limited amount of game time last year. I know he had some injuries, but I have to admit that I did wonder during the season, was there something? And look, we probably never know what goes on behind closed doors at a football club, but again, on this one, do you think there's something to it? Have you read something? Have you maybe read the full article, have more information than I do on this one? But I would like to know why maybe Shaqiri didn't get as much game time. I thought to myself it might be that Klopp just didn't believe he was up to the level of fitness, or... but then you ask yourself, why would he have signed him? Do you know what I mean? Why would he have signed him? Jurgen Klopp isn't really somebody who just goes out and makes impulse purchases just for the sake of it with regards to players. We know how studious he is in his approach. So I am genuinely intrigued again by this one, ladies and gents. So once again, let me know your comments in the comment section below. Sadio Mané looks set to miss the opening game of the Premier League season against Norwich City. Obviously with Senegal taking on Algeria in the African Cup of Nations final. That would leave roughly from after the final 3 weeks until the season starts. And Liverpool have been given their players around that exact period of holidays this year. I think around the 3-week mark is what players seem to get. Now, I said this on Twitter earlier on, and a lot of people were saying to me, oh, he'll come back early. He'll definitely come back early. I get where you're coming from, but bear with me here. Would it be in the club's interest to make sure that he does get those 3 weeks holidays? Because the last thing we as Liverpool fans want is Sadio Mané coming back, having a shortened summer holiday, and then, you know, fatiguing through the season, or perhaps the lack of rest and recovery might lead to an injury. I would rather suffer short-term pain for a long-term game with Sadio Mané, because I don't want him coming out with injuries this season. We're already having conversations around if Ryan Brewster and if Divock Origi are going to be able to step up to the level of the front three that we have if one of Bobby, Sadio or Mo goes down with an injury. So for me on this one, I understand Red's wants and will to get him back playing, but I want him to have his holiday. I want him to get his recuperation, and I want him to come back then fully rested and fully fit and ready to go for what will be a pretty long campaign ahead, a possible 72 games, I believe, for Jurgen Klopp's men. So for me, I want Sadio to have his holidays. I'd love him to be here. Of course, I'd love him to be there for the game against Norwich, but I'm trying to, maybe it's old age, I don't know, but I'm trying to look at this with a different perspective. I read an article on Sky Sports earlier that I thought was interesting, and I'd bring it to you guys. So, football executives from Maidenhead to Juventus have attended a so-called transfer speed dating event in a bid to seal some important deals during this window. So more than 100 directors of clubs including Manchester City, Bristol Rovers, Roma and Newcastle arrived at Stamford Bridge to attend a day-long event which aims to allow clubs more networking with each other. I actually like the idea of this. It might seem a little bit cringy, I understand, but if it gets clubs in a room together and it gets people talking and it opens up lines of communication, and if you're a club, if you're a manager, you want your transfer plans to be in place as early as possible. So if this can help push things along in any way, shape or form, then you know what? Why not? What do you guys think? Have you read up on it? The article's on Sky Sports, by the way, if you want to go and have a read of it. I try and give credit where I can when I take articles or when I pull information from sites, because people have put the hard work in here, and I wouldn't have known about this if it wasn't for Sky. So I don't really ever give Sky much credit, but again, I'd love to know your thoughts on it, and the full article is on Sky Sports News. Harry Kewell, not a name I thought I'd be mentioning on the Liverpool stream again for a while, but Harry Kewell's agent apparently said that he turned down Barcelona, Arsenal and Chelsea to join Liverpool, and the offers from those clubs are apparently more lucrative than the one he received from Liverpool. I don't know what to make of this. I don't even know if I care about it, quite frankly, to be honest, because when Harry Kewell signed for Liverpool, it was a really big deal at the time. I don't know if some of you guys mightn't be old enough to remember, but we had a real issue on the left-hand side for quite a while. We always were linked with Damien Duff, then he went to Chelsea. And when we signed Harry Kewell, who was on fire at Leeds at the time, I remember thinking to myself, yes, finally, that left-hand side is sorted out. And whether it be through injuries or just not rediscovering his Leeds form, it didn't quite work out for Harry Kewell, and I've got to be honest, I've always been a little bit bitter about that, and that's not really fair towards Harry Kewell. It's probably my own problem, because I expected so much of him because of what the level of performances that he was putting in at Leeds. So again, I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. Maybe I'll start to soften to him if this story is true, and he did indeed turn down more money from Arsenal, Barcelona and Chelsea to come and play for Liverpool. But from his perspective, he did win a Champions League medal, so I think it's fair to say it probably worked out for Harry Kewell. Again, this is a little bit more of a serious story. So I read a wonderful article on the Echo earlier on saying Mark Lawrenson has come together with 2016 Paralympic javelin gold medal winner and current world record holder Holly Arnold MBE to launch a service that will supply disabled children with the specialist equipment they need to participate in sport. The duo announced the initiative at the Caldwell International Children's Centre in Keele, Staffordshire. The centre, located in Keele's University and Science Innovation Park, is the new HQ of Caldwell Children, the national charity that provides practical and emotional support to disabled children and their families. To find out more information on this, ladies and gentlemen, you can visit www.caldwellchildren.com/sport. So it's www.caudwellchildren.com/sports. And of course, again, more information on this is available on the Echo site where the full article is. Well done to Lauro, and getting more disabled kids, or any kids for that matter, involved in sport, in my eyes, can only be a good thing. So well done to everybody involved there, and I've always loved Lauro. Sometimes I haven't agreed with his opinions when it comes to match of the day and stuff like that, but he always did seem like a genuinely lovely man. So well done to him, and of course well done to Holly Arnold as well for what seems like a very good initiative. So yeah, well done to all involved. I think that pretty much brings us through where we are with the news. Again, just to reiterate what's coming up over the coming days, I will be back tomorrow night 9:30 as always with the late night agenda. What day is tomorrow? Wednesday. So we'll do that. I'm recording a podcast with Boya as well, a short podcast with Leicester City FC Boya. I'm going to get Anthony's perspective on the transfer window as a whole, what he thinks of Leicester's business. Of course, we'll have a little chat about Harry Maguire and his proposed move to Manchester United, and a few other bits and pieces as well. There's lots of stuff coming up on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we put a podcast out that was myself, Jace Roberts and Cash Boyle, and we were talking about Ryan Brewster. We were talking about what youngsters have impressed us during pre-season. And the beginning of it, and actually a good chunk of the podcast, was around Felipe Coutinho, because I'm sure you guys have seen the rumours of a possible 2-year loan with an option to buy deal for Coutinho to come back to Liverpool. We discussed that in depth on the podcast, so it is up on the channel as we speak, so please do go and check that out. And as always, I'd love to know all your thoughts, and if I've missed anything or anything you want me to talk about, please do let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, my friends, take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucking Reds.